Bueno, ¿me oís? ¿Sí? ¿Sí? Sí, me oís, ¿no?
Properly? The very truth is, firstly, hello everybody, good afternoon, good evening. It's good for me to know that you don't have a fever or temperature, because those of you who went last year here can remember I was sick. The guilty for my being last year, yesterday was Roman, but the guilty for my being here again is yourself. You are going to held accountable for what is going on and happen from now on. Roman told us, and told me especially, that you liked it a lot. You liked my presentation a lot last year, coming from somebody who performed this function for a bank account company. This reminds me of a situation I experienced when I finished my studies, and I was an intern in a bank company. The CEO receives me, and he asked me, "Are you a computer person? You can read it on my CV, on my resume. Tell me about what you have studied. What do you study in computer and sciences at the university?" He sits me up, down, and patiently listen to me. But okay, from all what you learned, nothing. This is a data center. It's surface. It's useless. Take this screwdriver and this network card and change it to all the pieces. I'm still working with my hands, and all the things you have seen until now, I will tell you something very, very different. I came to tell you a different story from a different side. Everything is very well organized because Andres tells monetization, the magical word. Monetization is a magical word. What can I talk about to you? What can I tell you about? Because all my guests here know much more than I know now. So please tell them a different story. Tell them something that, as a person in charge of a bank entity or company, is relevant for you. In 2013, we had been focused on monetization, on security. What does monetization mean? We had less money, less and less money. We have less of everything because everything is very expensive and everything costs money. Intelligence translates into money. So they were asking me for doing more and more. In a corporation, in a big corporation, they asked us to do much more with nothing. With nothing. This is the big challenge we have to take on a big company as such, and as mine. How we can perform good security, the maximum with the minimum. When I say nothing, I say the less or minus nothing. They reduce, they cut down on your budget of your money, and they can even depromote you, demote you from your rank, because they had put new people ranking above you, and they don't care about your goals, risks, objectives, because they get privileged to people useless at the top. So monetization, what does it mean? This is a strange word for Spaniards. Perhaps Paco send off the next word. Monetization means cashing. Um, cashing money. Cashing is a word erupting the Spanish language now. The frequent Spanish dictionary says that monetization is convert money in cash. So I thought that we use monetization in a very wild way, but it's not like this. It's not like this. Monetization of security. There you go. How can you confront to give value by reducing the money we spend? There you go. What is it? What is it? This is a very traditional curve you can see anywhere. The cost of implementing security controls versus cost of security brace. The blue curve is fabulous because we're going down the cost up, And the red curve is very bad because it increases the cost of a security breach, where the crossing point is a minimum, the optimum security at minimum cost to get an equilibrium, a balance between security and cost. We all have to find this optimum security at minimum cost point, which is very difficult for us to do so. So when we talk about monetization of security, is when minimum has to turn into red. The rest is not relevant at the minimum cost. Risks up is irrelevant. The important thing is the minimum cost. What does it mean to work with the minimum cost? It means that the blue curve has to go down, absolutely, but it can happen that if the blue curve goes down, the red one goes up. We are balanced, we are moving forward in the graph, but this is forbidden. This cannot be this way because you are the person in charge of the security information of this company, and you cannot go up this terrible level of risks, but you have to reduce the money you are spending on it. So go in. I'll see you in 30 day time. I have to show the day ratio. Oh, the benchmark index in the sector. Who are you talking about? I can't understand a thing of what you're saying to me. Benchmark are also big enemies for us. So we go out from here and we say, let's sit down, value. Let's sit down and value. I don't know if I mentioned this before to you. There is no department or company in any part of the world by saying, okay, we are mistaken. We think that the security function of accountability or human resources or maintenance of escalators and stairs is done without giving up value. Why am I saying this? Because security is seen as the department of control that has to exist per se. This is wrong. We have to give value. Let's get value with less and with less money. When I mean money, when I say dollars, when I say bucks, I say people. I'm talking about resources because everything translates into money. How we can confront this?
Valor de la seguridad en una compañía. Toma ya, sacamos la fórmula del Rossi y quedamos todos súper contentos.
How can count the value in a company? This is the formula. We can talk about this formula for all the long time. So everybody will get bored without doing anything. We can confront it with a technique which is to scare people about. We took out the charts, the cool charts, the ones belonging to big American companies with big logos or with the super cool consulting companies. Whenever you have a breach of security, you are losing a lot of money. Oh my God. Then they turn out to say, are you telling me that we have lost so many millions of euros due to the security breaches last year? It doesn't happen. Okay. It's about to get people frightened about, invented by a great multinational for us to buy these security items. Andres will get here with the APT here. This is scary. This is generate costs. This is generates expenses. But we can find in some statistics or reports new things with a new approach. And I'm mentioning because this statistics, this poll or survey about obstacles regarding the operation of security information in their contribution of value given to the organization. It's not easy to find statistics with value. What do my colleagues say about it? The respondents of this survey, I'm talking about my corporate segment, they tell us that the budgetary restrictions amount to 90% of the problems when giving value. value. That's the word for today. How we can give value to our companies, and I'll tell you now how. For us, this site is a good is good to get value, especially as we can deal with the budgetary restrictions. We have established a little bit towards what we want to go, and now money. And so let's see now how we can handle this issue, how we can give good levels and value to the company. Let's measure this value with little less. So let's sit down, let's think without getting bored. We will define how we can relate value and security in a company as mine.
Propia operación. ¿En qué sentido?
Firstly, outcome. Comes from the operation itself for automatization and efficiency. Of course, it is a very clear example. How long does it take us to get a user signed out with the full equipment? Oh my goodness. Management of identities. How long does it take it? How long does it take? Does it take us to detect and alert a client or customers being frauded? How long does it take us to know that our pins and identity numbers are sold on a forum? How long does it take it for us to do so? This is operation to facilitate the banking procedures. Automation and efficiency is a value and is measured in money. Also, operation means responding to business needs. If my company decides to implement Wi-Fi to 13th in the bank branches for our customers, and of course it happens. This happens, and it will happen again. You will enjoy our Wi-Fi in the banking branches. We need to get on and log in to your online bank, and you have to turn this money over to us. Stay here with your Wi-Fi from your tablet and mobile phone, but do the money transfer inside my branch, and that's why I'm giving you the Wi-Fi for you to transfer the money inside my banking branch. Let's see how can I get benefited from it. It generates business and money, more business. We never say no, no, no. We are now silent for that moment. Operation is transcendent. It's a good starting point for us to give value by reducing and cutting down on costs. Of course, costs per se. And Saturday nights is when security is done. Everybody manages costs and budgets. It's not the same compare to buy 10,000 licenses from the other separately. Utility useness full. You have to take the providers and the vendors and tell them, I'm sorry, this is it, to generate better contracts and alliances, synergies of hiring and contracts. If I had the same features as the other, how didn't you contract me? Because on security we collaborate, we don't compete on security. How many ticker touts fought you at the stadium entrance? No, I'm just getting bored. So risks is not the first thing, because it's little margin here, because the bank entity have to say nothing can happen here. Let's take the handrails from the stairs, and let's get one stair step for everybody, but nobody can fall all over the stairs. If they fall around the stairs, I will fire you. I will get you fired. I will make you redundant from my company. You're off my company. So security of information, operational risks, because in a big company doesn't understand a different thing than operational risks. We have to go in and to be aligned within the operational risks. We have to move our asses. We have to invite this guy for coffee, for donuts, and I'm listening to you because they are reducing operational costs without costs. And be careful, because this is about added value in a strategy. This is how we can scratch our heads during this that time and sell and say to myself, okay, oh, how much I'm selling. I work a lot, but now I'm going to sell by spending less. I will try to do this way. I have to move my ass from the chair. I have to sell that what I'm doing, improve your reputation and the brand name. The very last thing I came up with, and now I need, is that we are a quality attribute. We have an attribute of quality because you can be very proactive in your company, but security is not a control department giving added value to the company. It's not very believable. Very few people believe it in my bank. You have to prove it every single day. So let's see now how can we get the operation from the general bank and the security and reduce the cost by keeping the same service to the company, the bank company. First, you have to optimize the processes. You know when it's going to be the one of the leading contracts and hirings in big companies, processes optimizers. After this show, you'll see the processes, courses to optimize all these things. When we had a lot of money, they told us mount and assemble this service. Process optimization is a profile for everything. It gives you security, uh, which is going to come to you very quickly. I don't know what this is. This is a career, a degree, but it requires a lot of patience. Process optimization is essential to revise those redundant processes. There are there are no segments in this process, but there are extra segments in other process. I've been here for 15 years. Nobody has buy things from me. What's going on here? When we optimize processes, is not it is useless to say, okay, this is a wrong process. Why is it wrong? And it works badly. So that's why we need performance indicators, KPIs. And we're going to go down these KPIs. It takes us 17 minutes to register a user on the ban. Let's make it automatically, or unless that it takes only 1 minute. But what's happening? What is going on wrong with the rigs? We can touch the KPIs indicators, but we can move the rigs indicators. So when we touch a process, let's see what happens with the processes. Let's create it again. So it's a real mess.
Resulta que ahora podéis decir, coño, mira, estos del banco este.
This guy is from the band. This Roberto has created a boring mess thing about everything, and while doing this mental development, Six Sigma appears. Six Sigma was invented because what I always see here is new, but except from your inventions, everything is now already invented. But if this coincides with Six Sigma, oh, what manual does it correspond to? Is now under the tables in my desk. So there are Six Sigma manuals all over the place. Six Sigma for us at our workplace. Not messing around. So let's create process map. Do you know what security does? How it operates? I can raise my hands. This is the process map. I'm not talking about the map, the process map. I'm talking about the portfolio of security you are giving to your organization. If you are vendors, if you are giving vendors to third parties, I do not, because you are charging from them. Do you know what is your portfolio of service? Have you ever defined your portfolio of service? What are you selling? When somebody reaches your place and said to us, what is computing information? Perimeter control, but every one of these sheets is going to be deployed in many processes. The process is a sign up from a user. You can go wherever you want. You first need to create a map, and one of these maps are cool. You have the maturity index for me to know where should I start. When you have a immense list, and these ones are mature, where now should I start? I have to prioritize and to optimize. I have to define an improvement road. When am I going to improve with this? I'm going to put a foot here and then the next foot. When we touch computing OTI, who's touching it? Security people? A little bit. Who's touching it? TI is touching. I define a roadmap for these processes of mine. I will get fired from my desk at the beginning. I get out and get out. Come again and made a polite salutation to me. Firstly, for the electronic email has to work. So we have to go for another coffee. We have to pay for a seafood restaurant. Oh my goodness, this is super expensive. I don't know what is going on here. What you're doing. So when we're friends, I'm gonna do this for you because of you. But now, please leave, go out. Even though like this, we have to identify the risk indicators we want to touch without touching the KRAs. And when identified, oh my goodness, this is a delight. We have to restart the job again. Six Sigma is a model. When we review all our security processes, I'm not talking about security, this should be done by everybody within the organization. For me to reduce the cost without touching the service, much more, please. But this story you have told me is very interesting, and I can learn it at the university or I can learn it on a YouTube video. Is it working properly? Yes, it works properly. I like to give you to the nitty-gritty part of our job, to the fleshy part of the job. You have an evaluation crossed out in our process, estimated mean time in our process is a monthly volume, turnover, the times this is taking us, and the implication that is giving us as well. These periods are signed in red and in blue, and this is the bomb, this is a blast. These are real data, and this is just as one single process with the sub processes inside. This can take us 40 hours, but with 8 per month is 1.28, and it's okay. You have to put it on. You have to get down to business and to take out the TMOs, and it's very difficult. Oh, this is a map. On these are October data. We did the improvement roadmap, and in October we detected that for these mean times of operation with the user system, when we changed the process with 18, it was reduced by 70% and by 90% and 95% in other instances. Please don't smile back at me, because I'll believe it. You are going to ask me if I believe into this group. I'm saving money on it, because you have to invest to save money. You have cut down these processes, of course. How about these processes were? There are many more processes inside in an organization as ours. There are many more. That's our limit. But the most important thing is how this can be translated into money. And if you see this thing on screen, is managing of identities. In 2000, in last year until 2012, 2013, the turnover, billion turnover is absolute value. It's not real. You don't have to know what are we spending. Billion turnover between June and July fell down only by optimizing processes. The cost of identity managing has been reduced only by relocating the internal processes and the internal things. In last summer, the monthly billing is falling down, is going down because technology is well uh, implemented. But regarding how dramatical reduction is, cost, time we have to invest. Is a time not invested to other thing by looking for help, by touching the processes and to try to settle down. Let's see what you got in one big process of security, which is managing identities. What can we do more with the costs?
Y la pi cuadrada esta del final. No, hombre, no, es coña. ¿Cómo coño? Esto no lo entiende nadie. No, hombre, no.
Now to reveal the p in this equation is not. It's just a killing show. How can we optimize cost? First, I have to see what I have. For instance, is this like a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon after hangover, having a lot of drink the night before? What should I now take? Okay, let's go for a tuna tortilla or omelette. I will call whom project RCP, and let's see what can we. First, we have to see what we have to take the most of it. We have to classify these counters, which are the recurring costs, which are remaining costs. How can I renegotiate this? Because I spent the last 2 years being with my providers and vendors. We went for a coffee. We turned back our slips. We went out for a coffee, and then everybody for home for us to renegotiate the the contracts. And as for providers like this, how are things going now? Because there are new providers and vendors trying to get in the market. Is the way it is. We have to make the most of it. It's our obligation for a company to take the most of these opportunities. Now, the reach, whenever I have all this thought about, when I think I know how and when I can save, I can say 30% per median. Is it true? You're telling me, or is just a simple thought? You have to reduce 15% your budget for next year, but you have to reduce. You have to reduce by 14%. You have to also to optimize. The only resource you can only resort to optimization through controls. You can touch the efficiency of controls, or you can touch the management, or both things. I will tell you about it. I can put the best antivirus in the market, which is not integrated with anything, and to manage is super expensive because I have to create scripts. I have to do everything. And I may say I'm not going to put the best solution in the market, but it integrates my console, and it's it. This can balance between a balance, good antivirus, and it's read by LDP, or I need three people managing antiviruses. In the very end, without touching the the careers. As for the services, I can look for better or more productive services. For example, I can contract Manuela Paque Pedro to create a publishing house on the web, or I can hire one of you to create a web-based publishing house. We are going to charge me less. One thing is more productive for the bank because I only spend two, but the efficiency of the service is going to be tremendous. So we have to discover where we want to go. The appetite for risks is also important. The culture of risks in your company, your bank company, is also important. I have another friend of mine who has changed his culture of risks from one day for the next one. One today was like this. I feel very comfortable, and I turned paranoid. I turned paranoid because being paranoid is very expensive, and they gave him money to this paranoid because they prefer him being paranoid. Period. So, paranoid people, little, let's be flexible with these guys. But yes, but you are like this, and flexibility is what we require. So let's arrange our costs. Let's rush over the presentation. Which are direct costs? Which are indirect costs? Which costs come from the tools, the operations? How are we going to cut down on costs? Let's start from the beginning. Let's review. Let's review and revise the antivirus contract with RSI of 97%. This has to be 99%. Contracts and services. Let's talk about with everybody. Let's waste our time negotiating and going over everything. Renegotiation, but doing it without touching KPIs, but not vice versa, because auditors come over here and they tell you, don't touch this. When you when you come back to contract or outsource services for them to be optimum, you have to internalize to save or externalize to save, depends on the situation. And then you have to rearrange the whole thing. How did I do this? How is it possible that I ask you to reduce costs by 90%? You are hiring a different cost from outside. We started from some previous services and costs generated, and we revised it to optimize them. But we can do the other way around. We can revise our level of services by portfolios, processes. This means we're giving a service which can be measured. How is it? What's it like? Our level of service like? We have to take a lot of security coffees. Manolo, how can we do it? How can we do it to you? Are you happy with us? Or can you do so in a true way? Or you ask for help to others? Do you find externals or internal solutions through different lines every single day in your working time, and it works. It is. It does. It does. Yes, it does really work. A real example: costs, security costs in one service in 2012, 2013. 2012, blue, 2000, red, 2013. 50%. This is the security invest in one specific service. Down at the bottom, let's see who is the cool guy who brings you the impact of money in the breach of security services. This is a real cost. This is a column of cost about the impact of security breaches in that service in 2013. It works very fine. We have cut down on costs. Their impact has been reduced. The money we have spent on it has been reduced. But you could have shut down the service. But this is the service, increasing service on the right. But I suppose you are very smart, so you know what we're talking about. Let's go down. We got the cost down. We got the impact down. It's a blast. At the same time, the use of the service is increased. So I'm customized a shirt, putting that chart on my back. We are very happy to do this. Oh, we're flying. We're flying. When we prepared this presentation, we were about 2 inches from the ground in delight and in joy. Oh, but a bittersweet person can come here, and a person could come here. This is not a lie. This is a real thing. I can buy it. I believe it. I want to lead you to the nitty gritty part of the job, to the fleshy um, topic. Of course, Town is also true. This is our risk mat for our tool. This is the big ones. This is operational risk. This is operational risk reports. I didn't know if offer you a snapshot because no, this is a generic snapshot. If there are more concrete snapshots, I wouldn't put it over here. This is a big screen, but it's only generic information. What we have, the back is the risk map. Mistakes when you are keying things in transferring money on the internet. The money who are taking the money with an extra 0 digit instead of 10,000, 1,000, 100,000. It gives a lot of money by error or in error to somebody. This will person, where is my extra 9,000 euros when I only wanted to give 1,000. So minimum import, maximum import, so benchmarking, historical things, and mean frequency risks we are taking, associated mechanisms, this company, confidential information theft, comes out efficiency of implementation. This have to be measured. Call the auditors to measure. If you don't have auditors, audit yourself. These are the risks without words, speechless. What is the money behind the scenes? What is the risks of having a report proved into the place? This is between nothing and the whole thing. How many is this? How many if times is this happening to you? Between one and nothing, you can. The fact that you can lose information system of LCP is none. Is none. We mitigate the whole thing this way. Am I correct? Yes, I am speechless about risks. I'm speechless. This is the nitty-gritty part of the job.
Un truco para trabajar cuando queremos presentar un proyecto y sobre todo cuando estamos.
We also have tricks when we want to add value. Whenever this happens, always carry a risk analysis. So when you are going to sell a project, please bring up your risk analysis, especially if it comes from your allies, and you tell the operational risks guys about this, and what can I do with this? But I want to explain a new solution regarding UTN, which is super cool. For the transcoms don't spoil me the Wi-Fi we're going to create in our branches, but somebody can enter the room, the branch, and it's better that this risk analysis is not from yourself, but from an ally. This works once, it works two, but we are up on the neck in fried because fried is not sellable. Risk factor itself is not a expending factor. Factor to justify spends 13% is not itself monetization. This you have to put money by the side. It's not by doesn't. It's useless to say that we have increased risks by this percent. You are playing your money at stake. Good practices are essential, and you will be dealt with many more times by those who have the money.
Porque hasta ahora es trabajo y pero esta sí que es la parte interesante. Valor añadido.
The interesting part. Added value. Now we'll sell share in a better way because we're giving added value. Like I said, we're an attribute of quality. We are better protect your reputation, your presence, your results. The multidisciplinary team is a fundamental thing. I told you, with those guys from operational rigs, go for a coffee with them, cry out, burst into tears, especially in our organizations where you can find a lot of useful person, valuable person in their jobs and in their capacity for convincing you. It's not the same with the CFO, the chauffeur, the driver, maintaining guy. And look for their skills because sometimes you all do very similar jobs, even parallel jobs. And I will tell you about the extended equipment to get others involved in the whole thing. Why are you going to read the LDP from downstairs to dot button?
Críticas. Hay que leerlo. Pero ¿por qué tenéis que interpretarlo?
Section of critical infrastructures. Please give me some time from you, and let's have a chat by doing the right questions. Don't make them read the rule. Are we at quality attribute very quickly? Okay, quality model, marketing model, the measurements for this are quality and confidence. If you want to the service quality model, ISAC introduces this into the control parameters. They also say that ability, the capacity of inspiring gives you confidence and security, which is another quality attribute. Another model designed for banking companies is a quality attribute. That's why quality people cannot ignore us. Do you believe it? Yes, I, Roberto, believe it. After slamming with my quality department for certain services, yes, it was. Is this a quality attribute? But this is too obvious. It's super obvious. February 2014 clients polls and survey recommendation by far is comfortability. Perhaps you feel identified with all of these. Another one is facility, commodity, usability. We are on the third rank on this list. My goodness, that's cool. And if you believe it, there will be others that will also believe it. Figures from this last February for other services is slightly difficult, but be careful because something similar can be done for compliance, OPD, everything being backed up by regulations and money. For those services is slightly difficult, but regarding management of identities has to be focused through the operation times. This is the money this is the value you are given, but we're working on security information and technology. So it's a wider spectrum. Tell me somebody in an organization who doesn't work with information within your spectrum, but perhaps it has a PDA to control the car registration numbers. Another way of taking the most of the thing is the extended equipment. This is appearing especially in many business schools. Come here to work with us and you'll see what a master is. What is an extended equipment or team? What is it called like this? Security is like this. We are the people taking by our hands, but we don't take it up for a fact. How can we do to reach better things? We have to delegate the routine of the operations by clicking. Who can we delegate this to systems? We have to negotiate who is going to operate the fireworks. You think we operate firewalls? No, we don't do so. It's wasting my time in my department. It has to define the policy and see our APTs and the rigs, the new threatening rigs to define a policy and to chop up these things. We aren't doing so. We cannot do so. I doubt we'll do it in the future. That will be done by you specialists for future services. You have to delegate the routine. When a user is clicking, we prepare a good management and it's done a very simple console human resources. We plugged it in with others and the physical access to the CPD, and automatically when you are signed up for it, the car is created all of a sudden. We have to automatize and delegate. We need expert pundits. I need a guy, a cool guy who knows a lot about this, but he's very busy now. Please, get me this guy for 2 days, 2 hours, freelance. I need the best freelance for 2 days. It's called hours bag. It's called like this. It's easier. It's difficult to contract a freelance, but let's try it. We have to be aware that in business that there are the risks from everybody, but they are the owners of the risks and their information, and this held them responsible. Uh, but policy make them bank department's chiefs responsible for their action. But if you have created a particular banking, this is the particular banking is attacked, your business going very bad. Come over here, because my cost will be repercuted on you in this way. I will turn them over to you. Avoid hit, avoid fighting, and you make them come over here, or you send them over to Congress, on the Security Congress, and they get messing around all of this. You need a specialist in optimization processes, localization process, systems, PMOs, the offices dealing with processes. Ask them for help, because in an organization you can find very good people. Perhaps they are running out of time, but invite them for some coffees, and you have to build relationships with the core team. Everybody has to know you, even though for going around for coffees and some seafood. We talked about just some minutes ago, thinking a different way from recruiting. It's not about recruiting. If I have to hire staff for the security personnel department in a IT banking department, I want people like this. I want people like this. Their skills, their technical competencies, exhaustively possessed by you, are to be sold this service. But we need to think how these services are integrated in the company. This is my obligation. The profile has to be open. So those being very good at doing so, continue this way. Otherwise, this will be a joke. 3 controlling, 2 measuring the temperature in the water, and the remaining guy has to roar the boat. But in managing security, we have to be multi-task and multi-competencies. We have to think from a different perspective. It's not about recruiting. We need a multi-task perspective. Roberto, you have the option to hire a person. I'm gonna get the best hacker in the rooted. I will give a big thought about everything, because perhaps the rooted hacker has to be in another company.
Un buen especialista de optimización de procesos. Ya estoy acabando.
Let's find the right guy to the right company. And to wrap up, McKeither is from the 90s and is well known perhaps by everybody.
Alguno, aunque solo sea porque nació en los 80, que también lo sabrá, pero por lo menos le suena o lo.
People from the 90s will be familiar with the MacGyver's knife. Is the coolest thing in the world invented, because this guy over 40-minute episode did whatever he liked it. This is mine. This is my knife. This is my MacGyver's knife. This is it. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very, very much for your attention and your attendance.
Bueno, la charla brutal, como siempre.
It's a terrific talk, Roberto. Thank you very much. I wanted to put forward this example, this case scenario when you're about to negotiate the next year 2014 budget. You optimized everything, that the improvement possibility is minimum, and you turn up to this with these fabulous figures to the one who is going to subside 2015, but you have to do it with 50% less, but you cannot optimize more. How you confront the situation? You'll go for more coffees, for more seafood, for more delis.
Que te van a pedir un 15. Entonces ya lo llevas hecho. Vale, pero
speaking, you know you are going to be asked to reduce 15% in the budget next year, and you are going above this. So 4 plus 3, 4, 3, 2, but you have to ask for 4 because there will be a 3. So it's like this. there are many points of negotiation. You know what you are bringing forward to your client, and risks, fundamentally speaking, risks. This is the limit. We are going to affect here our carriers, and this the risk assessment, operational risks with me. These guys with me. This is a very difficult question to respond to deal with, because in a very concrete way I don't have a concrete answer. It depends on your own ability as to know what this client is going to ask you to do, so to reach a middle ground half position, then supported it with rigs, and then your products. I boast in a very cheeky way that 30% of new things, new services or solutions we didn't have the year, the past year is put forward with new badges. This could be a boring thing at times, but these new investments, especially the new ones, have to be accompanied with why do I want to spend this, and you need to get a balance about what you cannot touch, which is because it's affecting rigs. Let's see if you dare to do so, and what I'm going to optimize, because I'm going to touch it, and the new things, the new ones, and the novelties. For the novelties, you need a big space. Somebody has to tell you, I want that, I want that, I want it, I want it. And but I'm offering you this because it's for you, for that, and you have to create internal alliances for somebody to create it into to buy your project, because I don't have internal clients, and I'm sending them, I'm carrying several reports, and you present several reports. You have the signature of your parents, of your granny, for the priest from the village, and to say, okay, I'm a cool guy, and I have different options. I don't have the perfect manual to respond to your question, but it's like this. It's invoices and billing.
Roberto, muchas gracias.
Roberto, thank you very much for your talk and for sharing your daily job and your coffees. We are between friends. We are among friends. Any unlearned lessons, any process you aren't able to optimize, or some optimized process but they turn out to be more risky or riskier? Yes to everything. Yes to everything. That's my answer. This is not rocket science. 90% optimized processes, success in the optimized 90%. You know where you're shooting the arrow. Processes are sometimes slow. Okay. It's okay, the shoots can go above the partridges, or sometimes the shooting goes below the partridges. Sometimes I take a process where I have a nitty-gritty part to sell, and I start dancing, and that's brilliant. Because the aim is to do more with nothing, valuable. And this is the last time I'm telling you, if we manage better now in these recession times, and it looks like okay, very flamboyant, where we manage this crisis, this recession very well, we will be the leaders in the recovery. And many of you are entrepreneurs. If you are doing well now, imagine how good you do with a lot of money. Thank you, and see you all later.